from the Fox 5 studios, this is Silver State Sports Live.
Happy Monday, everyone, and a very special happy Monday to Hoopers across the valley. We got some exciting news to discuss. Welcome into Silver State Sports Live. I'm Mariah, Janos.
And I'm Mike Davis. Lots of basketball talk to get to, from the pros down to the college game. Plus, one athletics prospect is posting some big league numbers at the ripe age of 19. But before we hit the diamond, let's circle back to the hard word for the biggest story of the day. It was announced this morning that the first NBA expansion vote will take place at next week's Board of Governors meetings, all to explore the addition of franchises exclusively in Las Vegas and Seattle markets, with the timeline to begin play in the 2028-29 season.
Yeah, League Commissioner Adam Silver discussed the topic of Las Vegas expansion at the NBA Cup Championship back in December, but he originally alluded to the vote taking place this summer at NBA Summer League. So the timeline has been moved up a bit, which seems like an indication that there is a desire for the expansion.
And here to discuss it all with us is the managing editor of the Las Vegas Sun, the one, the only, Ray Brewer. So Ray, thanks for being with us. Let's start with your immediate reaction of this news. A potential team coming here. It feels more real than ever before. How needed is this franchise in the Valley?
That's awesome. It solidifies kind of what we've all known, that Vegas and Seattle were on this parallel path to join the NBA as the 31st and 32nd teams. And it's something that I think this Valley has been gearing up for. I think even before we got the Vegas Golden Knights in 2016 and they launched in 2017, we thought we'd be an NBA city. And that's just because we love basketball here. It's, it starts with your Runnin Rebels when they got great in the 80s and into the early 90s. You've got the NBA Summer League every year, which sells out. And we've seen some of the greats come through there. The Kevin Durant's playing to a packed Thomas and Mack Center. And, of course, the NBA Cup that's been here the last few years. And we love our basketball. We know our basketball. And I think it's a perfect match for the league.
Well, Ray, you just talked about the landscape of basketball in this city. How do you think locals are feeling about a potential expansion team rather than the relocation of an already established team? We've seen the support for the Golden Knights when it comes to being Vegas-born.
Yeah, I think you hit it right there. Part of the reason Las Vegas loves its Golden Knights so much is because it's our team. It was born here. It got great here. And I think having a team that originates in Las Vegas, that was birthed here, that we could say is our own, it's awesome, right? Nothing against the A's, nothing against the Raiders, who've been phenomenal. But having a team that originates in Las Vegas that we could call our own, that we could get behind, is awesome. And I think that's really going to drive interest with fans. I think a lot of times you live in Vegas and you've already got your teams, right? You're a transplant from Chicago or from New York or from LA, and you like the Lakers or the Bulls from Jordan when Jordan was there. And, the Knights come and, okay, you could have two favorite teams, and then all of a sudden the Knights start winning, and you're like, oh, I'm all in. I'm Vegas-born. Let me get me a Knights hoodie.
Yeah, it really is true. All right, Ray, thanks so much. Hang tight. We're going to be talking some more basketball with you in a bit. So, Mariah, let me ask you this. How do you feel about this news in general? And give me a good team name. I need a team name from you. What do you think this NBA expansion franchise team should be?
So the team name is really difficult for me, but I'll get back to it in just a second. As for my reaction to this news, it's about time. I figured, we just talked about the landscape of basketball here in Las Vegas and how it dates back to the 80s, the support that this sport has. So it's surprising that it's the last of the major sports to be added to this city, but there are only 12 cities in the United States with all four major pro teams in them. Yeah. Vegas would be the 13th, and obviously Seattle as well. So I think it's super exciting. It's about dang time. This city is only growing bigger and bigger and has wanted to cement itself as the sports and entertainment capital. They got the entertainment down, the sports, this kind of solidifies it to me. So I'm very excited about this news. As for the team name,
let me hear the team name. I need this.
I don't know what to do.
You're creative. You have a great mind.
I'm creative.
I know you have a good team name here.
I'm leaning towards something like the Road Runners because they're like so funny, but I'm
disappointed.
I'm not good at naming teams. I'm going to say that right now. Remember with the Mammoth, I was trying to name them the Wookiees.
That was good.
That was good, but I don't know.
NHL didn't take your idea.
No, they don't like me very much, I guess, but I can't really put my finger on what I would want this team to be named. Do you have any good ideas?
Here's my big thing.
Okay.
I just feel like we need to lean in to the Vegas version of this. So
we already have the Aces, though. Those would have been sick.
But anything high rollers, Jokers, anything.
Jokers.
I like the Jokers.
Do you
Even
think
Neon.
Jokic would be offended by it, though?
Ooh. Well, maybe he'd come here. Maybe we can get him. That would be the ultimate double dip.
The Joker on the Jokers.
The Joker on the Jokers. But we got to lean into Vegas, whether it's Atomic City, Sin City, the Sinners. I like anything. Just make sure we lean into it. Don't lean away from it. So that's my feeling on all this stuff. But as for some more basketball, the WNBA, CBA negotiations continue in New York City. The league and the Players Union have been holed up in face-to-face discussions for weeks now, and the talks seem to be moving in a positive direction. League Commissioner Kathy Engelbert released a statement today saying, "We've got progress for sure. We're going to keep going. We're going to get this deal done." This comes after Friday's comments by the commissioner where she hammered home the need to get a deal done by today so that expansion and free agency can get going.
Fingers crossed. All right, still to come on Silver State Sports Live. The Runnin Rebels are on to the postseason. UNLV is in Irvine, California for round 1 of the NIT. We're hearing from the man in charge, Josh Pastner, next. And don't forget, the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network is your home for the most live local sports. This week, you can catch UNLV softball as they take on Utah Tech. That's Tuesday at 4 p.m. The Desert Dogs in Rochester square off Saturday at 7. And then UNLV softball back at it again on Sunday as they welcome San Diego State. That's all right here on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network.
You're watching Silver State Sports Live.
Well, the Runnin Rebels season isn't done just yet. UNLV has accepted a bid to the National Invitation Tournament. They will play a first-round game on Tuesday night against UC Irvine. Before the Runnin Rebels hit the road to Southern California this afternoon, head coach Josh Pastner met with the media.
In the rebuild of the program, you want to be able to make sure that you want to play postseason. Obviously, the ultimate goal is the NCAA tournament. But if not, you want to continue to play. And if you're a competitor, and I've talked about this in establishing our culture in year 1, you've got to have toughness, you've got to have grit, you've got to be a competitor, you've got to want to compete, you've got to want to go play. You can't be laying in a fetal position and just want to stay down on the canvas. You got to get up and fight back. And, we didn't have a great second half versus Utah State. And so we want to get back out there and fight.
Yeah, we don't want any fetal position.
No.
Let's not do any of that. And I know this guy is definitely not in that position right now. The great Ray Brewer back with us. Hopefully you got a little bathroom break in there, Ray. But let's talk about this. UNLV, you're one of the fine minds we have to always ask about the Runnin Rebels. So one of 5 teams out of the Mountain West that accepted a bid to the NIT. What do you think about the Scarlet and Gray deciding to play as opposed to teams like SDSU who have opted out?
I kind of echo what Coach Pastner said in that if there's a game to be played, let's go compete and get better. And I appreciate the logic of these lower tiers postseason basketball tournaments, and it's an opportunity to develop your roster and get more meaningful reps together, which Pastner's in his first year. The one kind of hiccup is that UNLV has got a really veteran-laden team, and there's going to be some moving parts in after the season with the roster and NIL payments. And if anything, that gets you another week with Tyron Jones to continue to develop him and maybe influence him to want to stay here another year to play for UNLV basketball.
Yeah, and that actually is the perfect segue into where we were headed next. You mentioned Tyron Jones and retaining players. Do you really think that a deep playoff run in the NIT, if UNLV could pull it off, would there be any benefit from it in terms of fundraising, in terms of player retention?
I'm just not sure. I just think it keeps him from listening to people for a few more weeks. The bottom line is that UNLV is going to have to match with whatever the top Power 4 school throws at him. I do think he likes it here. He's clearly developed here. He's definitely coachable. I was at the Utah State game, watched how assistant coach Justin Hawkins was coaching him during a timeout, and he was looking him in the eye, and he was shaking his head up and down. And golly, he's just so athletic, and he's a great defender protecting the rim. And it would be an awesome building block to keep him in the fold for next year, because UNLV's won 7 out of 11 games. I think what Pastner's building has a chance to really stick. He's, like he talked about after the Utah State game in the league tournament, he's got to go out there and fundraise some money to enhance the roster, keep the pieces that he needs to keep, and maybe get this team to the NCAA's next season.
Ray, last thing for you here. Listen, it's March Madness. We love the Cinderella stories. Remember in Cinderella when she puts on the glass slipper, Ray, and it breaks the magic spell, of course? What is it going to take for us to break this magic spell here? How do we get back to the heyday of Runnin Rebels basketball? Give us the answer right now. You're the guy who has the answer. If you had a magic slipper right now, I'd put it on my right or left foot right now for you, Ray. But tell me, what is the way we can break this magic spell?
So we're going on 13 seasons, and if you look at the head coaches that have gone through those 13 seasons, it's been a question that they haven't been able to answer. In this modern era of college athletics, it all comes down to how much could you pay your players? And, take a look at the NCAA tournament bracket. The top 16 seeds, which is the 1 through 4 seeds in each region, they're loaded with talented players, and it's top-end funded programs. And that's just the starting base. Once you get them in, you've got to coach them up, and you've got to get them to be better. Next season's a new era in Mountain West basketball. San Diego State's out. Utah State's out. UNLV should be a top 2 or 3 team in the league. Hopefully the league's a multi-bid league, or it's all going to come down to that 1 week in March where you have to win your league tournament to get to the NCAAs. But it all comes down to how can you invest in your program, and do you invest the right way? If you're going to spend more than 50% of your NIL budget on one player, and that player is a complete bomb, a complete bum, you're going to be back in the same spot, swimming in reverse.
Well, hopefully no bombs or bums here going forward. Going to be a busy off season for Coach Pastner. Ray, thank you so much. We appreciate your time and your knowledge.
Have a great day, guys.
You too. And here in Las Vegas, we get a front row seat to another postseason tournament. The Crown is back at MGM Grand Garden and T-Mobile Arena. It's an 8-team single elimination tournament running from April 1st through the 5th, and you can catch the games on Fox and FS1.
The slippers, the crowns, it's a
fairy tale.
It's a fairy tale. Coming up on Silver State Sports Live, the USA took down the Dominican Republic last night in the World Baseball Classic semifinals. How one A's player is reacting to the controversial call that ended the game.
You're watching Silver State Sports Live.
To Perdomo. It is on the championship.
What a time to be an American. Team USA advances to the World Baseball Classic final after a star-studded clash against the Dominican Republic, ending with a Mason Miller slider. You saw it there, a little too low for comfort for some, but one man's trash is another man's treasure. The questionable strike call propelled the red, white, and blue to a 2-1 victory.
And that call generated quite the reaction from big leaguers everywhere. A's outfielder Lawrence Butler reposted a video of the call on Instagram saying, SMH.
Meanwhile, New York Met Juan Soto, who played for the Dominican national team, said this: "We showed the world who's the best team in baseball. That's all I gotta say." Wow.
Salty.
Very salty. What's all your thoughts on this entire thing? Because he clearly is upset. Did you initially think that Mason Miller slider, though, was a little too low for you?
It was a little too low. It seemed as though the umps were looking for a golf swing on that pitch, and that's fine, I guess. And I understand the reaction. You're frustrated. That's the way the game ended. However, it never comes down to that one pitch or that one play. There were multiple times throughout this game where the Dominicans were in scoring position and they couldn't capitalize on it, especially the second Paul Skeens steps off the mound. There was plenty of opportunity for them to get in front here, and they weren't able to do it.
1,000%. What did they have, like 8 batters left stranded on base? I mean, it was one of those games where there was big moments throughout. Aaron Judge throwing out Tatis at third, and it wasn't one of those games where Paul Skeens was on a complete heater. He played well, but he wasn't super dominant where they couldn't do anything, the Dominican Republic. So I think it's one of those games where, listen, this is national pride. For some of these guys, this is more meaningful than even Major League Baseball stuff. So to me, I think Juan Soto being upset, that's valid. Yeah. We saw Big Papi, David Ortiz, your guy from Boston. He wasn't so happy after the game either. So it's one of those things that I just think they didn't capitalize, and like you said, Mariah, you said it best. It never comes down to just one single call.
Yes, I always have to remind myself of that when I get upset during games. But, you know, this Dominican team is known for its batting lineup, and they just couldn't get the bats going. So that's what happens. Sorry about it. All right, aside from the outcome of the game, though, one athletics player shined bright. The ace, Luis Severino, got the start on the bump for the DR. Aside from the homer he gave up to Gunnar Henderson, Sevy recorded 6 strikeouts in 3 1/3 innings of work, getting himself out of multiple jams throughout.
Yes, and as for some athletics news outside of the WBC, the A's have reassigned top prospects Leo DeVries and Gage Jump to the minor league camp. But zeroing in on DeVries, my dude, for 1 second here, we got to look at his numbers at the plate through 17 spring training games. He's batting .409, on base percentage of .447, and .682 slugging percentage. So he's doing pretty well. 3 homers, also with a grand slamming.
Yeah, not too shabby. In other news, the Golden Knights have strung together back-to-back high-scoring wins. Over the weekend, the guys in gold absolutely dominated the Chicago Blackhawks 4-0. Pavel Dorofeyev found the back of the net twice, the 2 other goals coming from Keegan Kolesar and Rasmus Andersson, while Aiden Hill held it down between the pipes with 21 saves on the night. VGK will look to keep the momentum rolling on Thursday when they host the Mammoth.
You don't love that Mammoth name. I understand.
No, give me the Wookiees or give me death. Okay?
The Wookiees logo would have been sick. All right. That was impressive. All right. There you go. Taking a look at the updated Pacific Division standings. The Knights remain in second place, just a point behind the Anaheim Ducks, who have won 6 of the last 10. Now, the Oilers are nipping at the Golden Knights' heels, being a point back themselves. It's looking like it's going to be a tight race to the postseason.
And it was Denny Hamlin who came out victorious yesterday at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The 45-year-old overcame a speeding penalty to win the Pennzoil 400 for the first time. Now, it's not his first win at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, as Hamlin has won the South Point 400 both in 2021 and 2025.
Mariah, you know how I feel. They're always risking their lives, those NASCAR drivers.
Yes.
That's a callback to last week for the faithful Silver State Sports Live viewers. All right, coming up, let the madness begin. Fresh off Selection Sunday, we're getting set for the big dance.
You're watching Silver State Sports Live.
All right, Mike, you talked about the glass slipper earlier, but
Yes.
what about your dancing shoes? You got your dancing shoes available? You got those on?
You know me. March is my favorite time of year. I'm here for the March Madness, but I'm just excited to see these young kids get to work. Listen, we love this time of year. It's all about the Cinderella story. We always fall in love with that stuff. Do we want to see the Runnin Rebels kill it at the NIT? Yes, but we're going to be plugged into everything going on March Madness-wise. And come on, Mariah, this is the place to have fun with your buddies for March Madness. Producer James has his entire fraternity from college coming this week.
Yeah, he's literally bailing on us to do this show by ourselves so he can go enjoy March Madness. And hey, I don't blame him. I'm going to join him as soon as I get off work because that's what March Madness is all about. Bringing people together, celebrating, enjoying sports, and also people that aren't even typically into sports. They love March Madness. Everyone makes a bracket. Everyone gets in on it. And we here in Las Vegas, beyond our awesome watch parties that we have here, have something to look forward to come 2028. A lot to look forward to come 2028, actually.
Let's break that down.
Let's go through this. Okay, so we've got actually the men's Final Four will be here in Las Vegas come 2028. But what else is going on, Mike?
Well, we got the A's. The ballpark's going to be here 2028. And what did we talk about at the beginning of the show? If you were paying attention, if you were taking notes, like my mother does every time Silver State Sports Live comes on, taking notes, handwritten, not just mental, the NBA might be here. We might have the NBA, the MLB, and the Final Four all here in 2028, Mariah.
That sounds like a party. That sounds like a sports lover's dream. If you are living here in Vegas and watching this, which why wouldn't you be? You should get excited right now. Just get the timeline going, get the calendars going, the countdown.
It's a party. Yeah. That's what James and his buddies from college are going to be doing. They're going to have a bunch of Capri Suns and watch March Madness.
Get those juice boxes out. We'll see you tomorrow.
Won't be Capri Suns.